The challenge will be very different to what we faced on Herrick 9. Herrick 9 we were very small teams embedded with the Afghan National Army. Now we're multiple sized teams but partnering the Afghan National Army. So what we're faced as right down at rifleman level is a much more sort of complex series of challenges that will hopefully lead to the ANSF coming out at the end of our 6-month tour better trained and more well developed. So it's a difficult and differing set of challenges, but the guys are ready for it. The training's been excellent, and so we'll get to the start line in very good condition.
How do you anticipate this tour being different from the last one?
I think the focus is now so much on the Afghan security forces. I think the massive emphasis from our commanding officer and from everyone really is that they hold the key to our exit in the future, and if we don't focus on them and help them develop, then we're not going to have an exit strategy. So it's utterly crucial, and I think that's where the difference will be. Herrick 9 we were mentoring, but there's now more of an emphasis on it. It's now the only thing that we should really be doing, and therefore all our experience from Herrick 9 we should now carry forward to Herrick 14 and put it to good use actually on the ground, helping the ANSF, all the security forces develop. Compound clearance is one of the key things that guys will be doing on a daily basis, but you saw compound clearance red, i.e. they know there's enemy forces in that location, and so whether that's a daily thing is probably to be seen, but if we were going to go forward and occupy a compound at any stage, we'll go through that process just without the firing. So all the moving parts are the same, but it just has to alter slightly depending on the enemy forces and what the environment is saying to you at the time. And what they came across in that scenario was 3 insurgents who've clearly got a stronghold of some description there, well armed, and whilst moving around under the cover of some of the other compounds, he moved around to assault the series of buildings. As he came up to the wall, he was then opened up on by the insurgents, and they returned fire from the fire support before breaching into the compound and clearing through systematically through the rooms to make sure that all the insurgents had been either killed or captured.
This is really about allowing local communities to establish themselves free from intimidation and free from the sort of nefarious activity that the enemy has got up to. And that's what they want, and that's what the Afghan governors want, and the tribal elders. And so we're really there in support of them and to try and help them through our work with our Afghan National Forces to provide that protection. It is a challenging environment. It's difficult and dangerous work. There is a high IED threat out there, and small arms threat as well. So we've been preparing to deal with that. And there's some slightly softer challenges as well about making sure these relationships with the tribal elders and with the governance structures are properly looked after and cultivated, really. We have enjoyed some tremendous support from the local community, from the forest and from Chepstow and from Gloucestershire and around. It's really important to us. It means that we can go and do our business knowing that there are family and friends and community at home who are supporting what we're doing, and that gives us some extra energy to what we do. So a lot of this equipment is new. There's been a significant change in the quality and the quantity of the equipment since I think the battalion was last out there, and it's been all for the better. It gives us an extra degree of confidence, I have to say.
This APC, which is an armoured personnel carrier, and in the rear of the vehicle, that's where the troops will be carried. They weren't there in the very beginning of Afghanistan, but they were a late entry sort of vehicle that we needed. It can be used for two things. You can either transport, well, three things. You can transport goods around in it, for the troops. You can transport the troops around in, or it can use it as cover and fire. You've obviously got your turret on the top, which can be fitted with 3 different kinds of weapon systems up there. So it's a good piece of firepower and good cover and fire for the guys on the ground. Troops will be carried in here. You'll have the gunner who'll stand on his gunner's platform up out of the turret. This seat here is always kept clear for him. This is his seat and his seat alone. Obviously, for any accidents, whatever, he needs to come down and get into that seat. In the front, the glass on the front is bulletproof, and obviously you've got the sidewalls, floor. The seats are made of ballistic foam, obviously to protect them from shock waves from IEDs underneath. So yeah, they're very strong. The floor has been designed to be stronger, and obviously underneath it's been designed so that when the effect comes up, the blast is predominantly pushed away underneath from the sides of the vehicle and out the sides of the vehicle. The level of protection in here, this is the place you want to be if you're out in Afghan. This is the one of the vehicles out there. It's never been destroyed. The guys in the back have never been hurt in any way because it's that strong a vehicle.